Okay, again, let me take the privilege to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. Vaibhav Parekh. He is delighted to be, he has gained expertise in various technologies throughout his career, which includes C Sharp, .NET Core, Angular, Node.js, SQL. Uh, he, his work involved building high performing applications, integrating APIs, uh, implementing server-side rendering, and managing large-scale data system. He is also well versed in payment gateway integration like Razorpay, uh, and he have keen interest in enriching cybersecurity within application development. Beyond his professional experience, he enjoyed sharing knowledge and collaborating with others, which is why he is here now today. His goal is to provide insight and practical takeaways that can inspire and support uh, us in our learning journey. So, let me hand over today's session to Vaibhav. Vaibhav, now let me make you a co-host. You can share your screen and please start your session. Uh, one more thing I want to add. Participants, I have sent you one mail regarding today's schedule. We have same schedule 10 to 12. Break is there, then 1 to 3. Between 3 to 3:20, we will be having a valedictory session. So that schedule is available in your email. Kindly check your email. Okay, Vaibhav sir, please start your session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, good morning, participants. Today we will learn about the Angular. Past few four sessions you have already learned about the React Native, Flutter, and native Android and iOS. Okay, so today we will learn about the Angular and as well as the Ionic, because the Angular is the front-end web development technology. To convert the web application into the mobile development, we use the Ionic. Okay. So first of all, let's start with the Angular, and I'm sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, so first of all, what is the Angular? So as I said, the Angular is the front-end web development technology, and it's a framework which is maintained by the Google. Okay. And it's a modular technology, so it's a very easy to manage our code and everything. Angular is obviously you will develop in HTML, TypeScript, and CSS. So, as I said, the Angular is a modular technology. If we want to use any service in our Angular, we include that module in our Angular, register it in our Angular module. So then after we can use that service. So it's a modular technology. So it's very easy to maintain our code, and it keeps our code it's clean. So when we create Angular application, there is one app model file will be there, and every application which we create in Angular, it must have one app model file. By default, we will have one, and that's a very main file, app model file. It's the entry point of our Angular application. So this is how the our app model will look. So it imports the ng model from the core of the Angular, the platform browser it imports. and the app component. These are few main important things which Angular already imports for us, and there will be it's all in the file there. This is how Angular architecture looks. So there is Angular is a set of all the modules and the components. We use the modules and use the services for some kind of like we need to perform some kind of logical or functional things at the like we need to do some common things. We do the services. So all the service will remain same throughout the all the projects and all the components. And then we can create the modules and import the modules, different modules in our app module file. So we can use their services also. And the template is the HTML part. It is inside the component, and component have the metadata, which I will show you later. And there is one directive. Directive is do something that we use as an attribute in the HTML tag, and it change the behavior of our HTML tag. So our component it reacts with the template in the form of event, data binding, property binding. So that's how the HTML view and our TypeScript component which interacts with in between. And the injector, whatever the service we create, we can use it via injector by injecting in our component. Okay. So this is how the Angular architecture works. This is just the same thing, Angular architecture, module, components, template, metadata, data binding, directive service, and dependency injection. So the what is the component? Component is just a collection of a few things. Is one thing is HTML, CSS, and a TypeScript file. We combine these three files, which is we can inside a component. So it's a create our component. If I show you how it looks like. Let me show it with, so you can have the better idea. So this is how the Angular folder structure looks. Okay. And inside there, we have the node modules. One is public folder. Before it was a assets folder. Now it's a public folder. And the Angular JSON file we have. Then package log JSON. This package log JSON maintain every log of the package throughout the application we develop. This is the package JSON. Whatever the package we install, it register over here. This readmd file is just for the read purpose. Whatever our code is, we can write the description of our project over here. And these all are the configuration file for the particular browser or ES target, and for those restriction and all, these are the configuration file. So we can find our main module file. over here. This is the main ng model file, which every Angular application must have. In case if we delete this file, so obviously our Angular application will not work. This is inside the ng model, we have declaration part, import part, and providers part. Inside provider, we register all the services that we need to use in our application. Inside the import part, we register all the modules that we need to use. And inside the declaration part, we register our components and some is a custom uh, pipe or guard we create so that we need to declare it in declaration section. And component. This is how the component will look. It have the thread component, have the selector, have the template URL, which defines the where our HTML part is. Style URL defines the where our CSS part is. So this is the HTML app component HTML is linked with this TypeScript file. And same way this app component CSS file is linked with our this component file. So whatever the CSS we write in app component CSS, that will only affect in component HTML only. So this is our component. This is how it looks. So that's component I show you, and the metadata is whatever. This is called the metadata of the component. So the templates decorator is that at the red sign is the decorator, and we have the TypeScript class. This is the component. So yeah, inside the template we have need to write the HTML code. Okay. So all the HTML code is inside the template. This is the example of the HTML template. And this is the metadata I show you. At the red component, this is the decorator, the component, and inside that component, we declare the metadata of the component, and it's a class. It's a same component class. In detail, we write all our logic inside the class component. All the functions or lifecycle hooks will be here, like ng1 init, ng after v init, ng2 check, will all will be available inside the class. We need to implement it. And now we have the HTML part and the TypeScript part, right? All are in the different files. So how the data pass from the HTML view to the our TypeScript file? So there is a few properties. One is the string interpolation. Inside the curly braces, we just write the variable name, and whatever the value holds by the variable, it will display in the HTML. One thing is the property binding, attribute binding. So this is how inside the square bracket, we write the property name and pass its value. It can be declared in our TypeScript file. And one thing is a output is a click event. So in this round braces, we write a click event or whatever the event which is supported by the element. We can declare inside us round bracket, and the function which will hold the event we can declare over here. So that's the same thing in the more description, the string interpolation. event binding, property binding. And now with the two-way data binding with the ng module. So whatever two-way data binding means, whatever the input given by the user, so that input automatically and instantly get reflected at the TypeScript file, the whatever the variable we have declared over there. So yeah, that's same thing in the like chart or view section. So the template inside the component, we do the event binding, property binding. So that's how the data go from template to component. So now the directive. So directive is main something we can use as a attribute inside the our HTML tag. It can like can anything directive we can simply use to change the behavior of our HTML tag. Simple example, if I can show you, when directive is just for the demo purpose, is I have created this directive, which is declared by the at the rate directive, which is inside the class highlight directive. This highlight directive just do uh, HTML attribute. It just highlight whenever the mouse enters and leaves, it change the color of our HTML attribute, which I will when run this application, I will show you that example. So this is the directive. And the structure directive is a built-in directive provided by the Angular, which is like ng4. ng4 is to do the loop thing. The whatever we write as a for loop, the same loop we can create for the star ng4. So it loops all the like array and then it's storing the variable. So whatever the like length of the array will be there, it loops throughout that length and display all the value. That is the structure directive. Next is the attribute. So that's it's a attribute directive is a ng module one and only ng module for which use as a two-way data binding. That is a attribute directive. And another we use, I have this created, and if I have created this directive, and if I have to use this, I can use it via the selector app highlight. So here I will show you the app highlight. So when I do this app highlight over here, it's a directive. So this is how we can use it as a HTML attribute. Use the attribute directive. Okay. So service holds are all main logic part, like you need to do the some API interaction or some encryption description like cryptography, all things, and which is the holds the main common logic, which is the common for throughout the whole application. So instead of writing code over and over inside all the component, we create service and place all the common code inside the service and use the service throughout the component and all the application. So this is how the service looks. It is the injectable. I show you the service just at the rate injectable. This is our service. It's holds all the common functions which we use throughout the application. And now the dependency injection part is the whatever uh, we declare inside the constructor. This is the what we have done is called the dependency injection. We import a service for a models from the import, and we create variable and its a class, we inherit it. So this is called the dependency injection. Inside the constructor, we have imported the service and inheriting the variable, and we will use that. Yeah. The injectors. So in to use this service, let's say I have created this service and I want to inject this service inside a component. Currently, I have not imported. To use this service inside a component, we must register in that service inside the app model provider section. So then only we can use that service. Before it was very compulsory in Angular 8 and 9. It was compulsory to register inside the app model and the providers. From the latest version, currently it's 19, uh, so it's not now compulsory. But yeah, it was compulsory previously, so that's why we are including it. Yeah, in the service provider, we declare inside the provider section whatever the service we have created, we must declare inside the provider section. Okay, and nowadays in the Angular 19, they are using standalone components also. So if you want to use some service for the some component particularly, we can declare the provider inside the component, and inside the provider we can declare the service, whatever the service we, and that particular service we can use only that component only. Okay, now the input and output decorator. So the input and output is used for the parent and child data passing. We have declared some parent and child as an example. If I can show you in our 55, yeah. So this is the hero list component HTML file. This is the main parent file, and inside the hero you can see hero dash detail. This is used as a HTML tag. This is actually a child component. The child component we can use it as a HTML tag. So this is how the parent and child works inside a Angular and component. So this hero in square bracket, you can see hero. It must be declared as a input in hero detail. I can show you the example. See this task list I have declared. This is a child component. Inside the child component, I have declared the input and output. Inside the input, there is a task which is passing from the parent. The task manager for here. This task I have declared all the data I am getting from the service. Service will get all the list of the tasks, will store into this task, and this task I am passing to the app task list. this is our child component. So this is how parent and child works. This is for the square bracket input to pass the data from parent to child, and this round bracket is event emitter to get the data from child to parent. I'm declaring direct service and its function. So it will directly get through the service. I haven't declared any function over here extra. Because all of the function is already declared in the service. So I'm directly calling the service and its function. So this is for the input square bracket and output for the event on the child. So these all are the events I have declared for the output. Whatever I do, the changes inside the list, it will go affect to the parent side. Okay. Yeah, this is the example I have provided in the PPT for the input and output, which I just show you in my demo application. So this square bracket is for the input from parent to child, and the output that this event emitter will declare in the round bracket. This output get the data from child to parent. So that's the input and output get from the Angular core input and Angular core output. Okay. Now routing and navigation, which is the main part. We declare the create multiple components. So how we can navigate throughout all of the components. For that, we will need to create a route. Right? So this is how the route looks. We have one routing module file. So it uses the Angular router route. It is the interface. So this is how we declare the path and where to redirect and path. So this is the entry point. So whenever if the path is empty, it will redirect to the login path. So this is how we declare the path and its component to redirect. This is how the router works. And now for the link, routing link, which we declare inside anchor tag, that's how it look. We use the router link attribute, and inside the router link attribute, we declare the path of which is whatever the we declared inside the app routing module file. So then after that, anchor tag attribute will redirect to the particular page. Oh, yeah, that's the same example of the routing and navigation. We use the router module and routes from the Angular router, and this is how we declare the routes. So path is the movie list. So whenever we run the application, so and we hit the movie list, so it will get us to the movie list component. to the router module. We declare the route, right? We declare the routes. We need to register in the module. So we have registered this inside the module. Now we are exporting this module file and we will register it in our main module file. So then only it will work. App routing module, which is imported from the our app routing module. So yeah, so we need to import the route module to our main app module file. So this is just a graph for the routing overview. So yeah, so this is the route module file which we declare inside our main uh, router app module file, and this is how we create the routes, and it we need to import in the ng module, and from the attribute uh, anchor tag we use the attribute router link and provide the path. This is how the router will work. Okay. Now the navigation we route via our TypeScript file from the logically. So we need to import a router inside our constructor, and by using this router we can route.navigate to our path. And this is how this whenever I call this function go to movies via button click, so it will take us to the movie list component. Yeah, and using the anchor tag attribute we can use the router link to navigate through different routes. And this is the last. Our Angular application is like a front end application, right? So how we can like store all the data and everything. So for that we need to use the APIs, right? So use the that APIs. We need to call it. So we need to import HTTP function inside our service, and we need to use that HTTP function which provides all the method get, put, and post. So via API and the HTTP service method, we can call the APIs. Okay, that's it from the slide, and I hope you guys have lots of question about it. So if you have any question, please. Mm, anyone? Any question? Yeah, Prantha, so am I audible? Hello. Okay. Okay. So as you know, there is no question. Okay. So introduce you to the Angular. So how we can start the Angular development? Okay. To set up Angular in our machine, first of all, we need a node module. Okay. So you can download node module from the Node.js. Okay. And set up in our PC. Then after, we need to install Angular CLI. Uh, Angular. So it is telling us to install the Node.js or whatever the text editor you prefer. Most of they were preferring Visual Studio Code because this provide more better like coding architecture. And the terminal obviously you will have the CMD. Then we need to hit the command npm install. G for stands for the global. It installs this Angular CLI package globally in our system, so we can execute Angular command from any directory inside our machine. Okay. To create a new project, we need to hit this command ng new and our project name. So it will create our project and install all the dependency by default, whatever the required uh, uh, modules to run our Angular application. It will automatically get installed. And to run the project, we just need to hit the npm start. Let's just create one demo project. New, if I hit enter, okay, it will ask me. Yeah. So, okay. Now it will ask to select the style. What type of style we want to use in our project. CSS, SCSS, SAS, less. If suppose this four type of CSS. Okay, whatever the CSS you prefer, you can select that, and it will ask nowadays. So this is from the latest Angular 16 or 17. It will ask you to enable server-side rendering or a static site generation, right? Uh, Before it was just a client-side rendering. Now they supporting the server-side rendering also. If our application is like a very big and it can take so much load at the client side, so we can enable the server-side rendering. So all the rendering part handled by the server, and it once our view is ready, server will send the view part to the client. So there will be no much load at the client side. So for now, we will just disable it. Yeah. And now it will install all the package which we require to develop for Angular application. Okay, so while installing, again I'll get the recap for the Angular. The Angular have main some part, component, module, pipe, decorator, and directives, service. This is the main part of the Angular. Actually, my machine is so that is why it is taking so much time. So to start, if we have installed the Visual Studio Code, then code space will open up the editor. Okay, so this is how Angular folder structure will look. ng module will contain all the module files. Whatever the we install any package from the node model package manager, whatever the package, let's say if I search for the mm, must be something. uh, Okay, this is going to be shared. If I find it. Yeah. So whatever the package we install from the npm, okay, it will get register in our package.json file, and one folder will be there inside a node module folder, and the package name will get registered in package.json file. If you can see, there is no bootstrap currently. Okay. And if I install it, okay, copy it and install it. Now you can see we have the bootstrap. Okay. So this package.json file is very important. Okay. Why it's important? Because like let's say I need to share my project with someone, right? Okay. So even node model will take around like 300 or 400 MB size. Okay. So what we do, we just delete unnecessary file. We delete the node models, Git and VS Code. We share only these files. Okay. This is very few size, whatever the uh, components we have created, service we have created, that's it. Okay. And I have shared this file with someone. Okay. So now that guy will go to the project path, and he just need to hit npm install. Okay. He just need to hit npm install, and that npm, npm will do, it goes through this package.json file and go through all the dependency and dev dependency this package. Okay. And it will install all the package and create the node model folder. Okay. So it's a very good thing to maintain our project and to store if I need to store my project somewhere. So it's a good thing. Just need to delete some unnecessary files and I can store it. Or else it will take a lots of space in my disk. Now the AngularJSON we actually uh, don't do some modification inside this file. It already get configured. So this is just if I need to add some external something assets or CSS for some extra configuration, then only we just modify this file. Okay. Let's say I have to add some external CSS file. So it is inside the architecture and inside the style. I can declare more CSS file over here and some configuration which is already provided by the Angular when I create the project. So this is the production configuration, this is the development configuration. If I need to create some other configuration like for the staging environment, so I can add one more configuration over here for the staging. Okay. So we have created the demo project, and if I hit the npm yeah, start, so it will start our project. There is one more command to run our application is ng serve. So the npm start, what it npm start to? Okay, as you can see in the package JSON, there is a script section. So npm and I hit the start, so it is running ngserve command, which is the same if I hit the ngserve directly, or if I do the npm start, both are the same. So let's just ngserve, and if ngserve will actually not open up the browser automatically. So to open up the browser automatically, I'll just do the hyphen and copy. So this is how just demo application will look. You have just created the application with the CLI. Okay. So by default, this data or view is available inside our application. Right. Now I'll explain you more about this. So we have the folder, public folder and SRC folder. So the public folder is contains all the image, CSS, scripts, all the file section will be goes in the public. Earlier there was a asset folder inside our SRC section, but in the latest Angular, they have replaced the asset folder with the public folder, and they have take out into the main directory inside of the SRC directory. So whatever the it contains all our images and scripts and CSS. That's the public folder on the do. And inside the SRC folder, we have our main index HTML file. This is the main file of our Angular, and you can see inside the body there is a app root tag. So how this app root tag come? This app root tag is coming from the our app component file. This is also then our main entry component of our Angular application. Okay. You can see this app root is used from the selector metadata of the component. Okay. As I should explain about the child and child concept. If we have created any component and we need to use it as a child, so we use it as a HTML tag. Okay. Uh, in the parent-child concept, to declare any to use any component as a child, we use its selector, and this root is a selector, so we can use it as a HTML tag. So this is the main entry component of our Angular application. We have used its selector inside our index HTML file. Okay. So now whenever we runs our application, it goes to the index HTML and it goes to the app root component. Okay. And inside the app root components HTML file. So here by default they have declared all the styles and the HTML over here. That is why we are seeing this output. Let's see. Here title. Set a title to have then hello. This is a string interpolation. Hello. Then the title holding the value Angular demo. If I say just add this in Angular and demo, save it. So now we have the space in Angular and demo. Okay. So yeah, now is the at the rate 4. This is the actually new syntax in the new latest Angular 19. Earlier it was star 94. Earlier this was syntax for the for loop is we use inside our HTML view. They have the changed the syntax. Old syntax is still uh, running supporting, and this is the new syntax for the for loop. Okay. And we have declared the object over here. We are running the for loop. Why we are binding square bracket attribute binding, getting the item of the variable or object of the variable, and we are accessing the link from the object. Okay. Okay. This link is now clickable at the top. Okay. So this is the main basic concepts of the like directive decorators and data binding. This is all we use to develop our application throughout the application. It is very easy to do so. Okay. And this is at the bottom. You can see the router outlet. Okay. The router outlet is tag of the Angular itself. They are imported from somewhere. The router outlets loads all the view or component inside the router outlet. So whatever route whatever route we declare inside the route section, and whatever the component it get loads inside the router outlet. Okay. यहाँ तक किसी को कोई क्वेरी? Okay. So just modify it. Collect to delete. And yeah, let's add some component inside our application. Uh, inside the component. So uh, this will get a dashboard of our application. Mhm. We can insert the dashboard. Let's create one component. So to create the component, we hit the command ng, G for the generate, C for the component, and the name of the component. So dashboard. If I show you, so these are the commands available to develop in our application. ng generate, you can short it to the G. ng generate, and whatever we need to create some like pipe, module, interface, card, component, class, services. So whatever we need to generate, we can use the ng generate. I go to the component, ng generate component, and the name. And there are some options we can pass, like change direction, display block, which will automatically get affected if I hit any option. So that gets inside the our metadata of the component. That option will reflect over here. Then any directive, if you need to create and generate directive, you can create the modules, you can generate the modules, cards. Card is also important thing to prevent any unauthorized user to access any web page. So these all are the Angular generate command. Yeah. created. Yeah, we have created two components. So therefore, there is a core file. When we have the HTML file, CSS file, HTML file, and this file is for the specs.ps is for the testing. If you know about the karma, and about karma and karma jasmine to do the testing of our application, to like something the automation testing team to QA team do. So this is for the testing purpose file. So it ensures our component must create faithfully. This is the for the testing purpose file. Our main development file is HTML, CSS, and the TypeScript file. It looks a blank. Yeah, it's a blank. So now we will declare uh, route just copy it over here. Instead of writing again and again, just copy and paste. Sorry guys, I'm just copying it. Okay, I'll change it to the dashboard, dashboard component, task manager, this page, and this page component. So if I hit the save, it will get us to the dashboard. See, dashboard works. Now, if I hit the URL as a list page, it will take us to the list page. And if I hit randomly, it will do nothing. So that one also we can do. I go here, yes, create one more component. we generate component page not not found. Okay. So to configure route for the page not found, there is a route. We use star star special character for the page not found. If user hit something randomly in browser URL, so we need to inform the user that you are hitting the URL, but it's not available. Page not found component. Okay. Now, if I just hit something, so the page not found. Okay. So this is the we have cleared the concept of the creating component and the routing. Okay. Any question? Anyone? Oh, sorry, I miss about the installation part. So, yeah, Sejal, here about the installation part, the installation of the Angular CLI or okay. Yeah, I can explain. I don't want. Okay. Okay. Anyone have any question till now? Okay. So let's continue. Hmm. So just closing this application and I'll run. Already I have to use the application. Instead of CMD to run our application, uh, we can also use the terminal from here. So, yeah, use the terminal from the code, US code, to run our application. But I prefer the CMD. Actually, it's narrow down my development section. So, Okay, so I have run my demo application which I have already prepared. Okay, that column. So then tell you about the application inside. There is a public folder. So it holds our assets like the images, videos, scripts, and all the files which we required to import inside our application in Angular project. That all goes to the public folder. So I have already added one auth JSON inside a folder, and there is one object I have created with a name, email, password, and my auth token is already there. And by assuming that whenever we hit the API to the doing the server communication, so this is the basic thing that the server provides us while the logging. So So we pass the email and password or the any username and password to the server. In return, server validate us, authenticate us, and then in return, they provide us authentication token to use all other features, all other APIs throughout the session. So we no need to authenticate again and again. Server will authenticate us via the token, but as of now, it's a static. Is just I'm giving for the demo purpose. Okay. So email, yeah. If I show you the route, we have two routes over here. One is a login and another is a task manager. If I hit the task manager in the URL section, it is taking me back to the login, right? It is not letting me in. No, no, it is not letting me in, right? Why? Because I have protected that path. It can activate property and yeah, there is guard. So I'm guarding this path via this class have the logic, and this can activate property must have array which is written only true and false. If I hit only true by default, save, and now if I hit the task manager, okay, malfunction true, yeah, sorry, and or it must be written throughout. Yeah, sorry, that's new for me also. Uh, looks like they have updated. Earlier, it was we can bypass via the true and false section, but now they have in the latest version. I have created this project in the Angular 19 or 18. Currently, latest version available is 19. So they have restricted it. So what card can return true and false? We have to return it. So I'm checking inside a function, can activate. Hmm. So if the user have login, so whenever the user is logging and current at the client side, we will store its that the token we have got from the server. We token at save that token at the client side in the secure storage. Currently, I'm just storing it in the local storage. So on the local storage, we fetch the token and check if the token is available. So means the user have done the login process. Hmm. So, okay, so user have done the login process. So now user is authenticated to move forward. So user is done the login process. So return the true, else navigate to the empty and return the false. So navigating by the empty, this part will get triggered and it will take us to the login. So that is why it is not letting me to the go to the task manager because I haven't complete my login process. And it is guarded by the auth guard. So this is the concept of the guarding route auth guard. Okay. And anyone have question about the auth guard? Let's move forward. So let's complete the login process. Okay. So now only I can go to the next page. Okay. Then if I go to the back, it will take me to the login. If I move forward, task manager. So I have completed my the login process and I have stored my data in locally. So now it will know that I have completed my login process. So that's why it is letting me throughout the different component. It is letting me go to the route. Okay, so now how I have designed this view, right? The template part inside a component. Let's go to the component and see the template part. So as I mentioned earlier, uh, this is the component section. The component section has the select template URL and style URL. So template URL, login component HTML holds the view part. So here I have created a HTML view. The and this is just a normal HTML code we all of us know. Okay. So only a few thing change, right? Which is the attribute binding and event binding, right? And the data binding, which I have done via the form control. I have used one of the method from the Angular is reactive form. So there are two types of form available in Angular. One is a template driven form. The template driven form we use that ng module which is used for the two-way data binding. Uh, the model. So this NG model, if we use this NG model, then it is a two-way data binding. And if we use form control, then it is a reactive form. There are two types of form available in Angular. Uh, all of us mostly we use the reactive form. Only few if you are like learning purpose, then only we use the like two-way data binding and template-driven form. Reactive form is very common and most useful thing. So I have designed this form for our login view. Hello,
Quale bijou?
hello. Yeah, you want to ask something? Hello. Yeah, sure, ma'am. You want to ask something?
chắc là chân khơi nào.
Hello.
Ờ,
Okay.
Sir, our mic is unmute by chance, I guess.
Okay. I'll mute her. Let's continue.
Yeah, if you can mute her, that would be better.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So the reactive form we were discussing. Okay. So the reactive form we were discussing. So as I hit the login button, I have done the submit of the form, and it is giving me the error. The email is required and password is required, right? So how this error came? Right? Form validation part. So I have declared the error message under the input section, added the class. Okay. Now from the reactive form, I'm getting the control of the email. Okay. If email control is touched, right, inside the if part, right, if the conditions get satisfied, so this part will get executed. So from form group, I'm getting control email if email touch or the form is submitted, right? Then the error message will get displayed. Right touch, tab, so error message get within tab, error message is there. So this is how the reactive form works. Okay. At the component TS part, I have design the reactive form. Okay. So I have created one form, which is login form, from the form code which is imported from the Angular forms. Okay. Now to use the form group from the Angular component, there is one dependency that we need to use and register in our app module that I show you in our app module file. There is a reactive form module. This is the dependency we must have to import in our app module file to use the reactive form modules. And these form modules, if we don't use this don't register this form module inside our app module file, so we cannot use the two-way data binding also. By default, currently it is get registered form module, but reactive form is not there. Whenever you create the application, reactive form will not be there. So we have to import the reactive form and need to register in the import section inside our ng module file. Okay. So then only we can use the reactive form. Okay. Now I come back to the login form. So I have declared one object with the form group, and I am using form builder to build this form. Form builder, what form builder is will do? Form builder will group all the component, controls. Whatever the controls we use, uh, this is called as a control. This email is one control, this password is one control. So whatever the control we need to use form field, that is grouped by the form builder, and we are grouping it and storing its value to the login form. And this login form we have declared in the form attribute over here. So what form group we are using? So we have declared the login form. So login form from the form group. So this is the main first part, starting of reactive form. So now we have declared its value. Okay. So now we can use control as a form control name, and whatever the name we have declared inside the TS file, like the email and password. So we give the control name over here, email and password, right? So this now control is binded to our input. Okay. And from the form tab, we have one event emitter is ng submit. So whenever I hit this submit button, it will trigger a form submit event ng submit, and I'm checking the form over here. The form is valid. This login form is actually not from this form group. I have, as you can see, I have declared one hash login form is declared as a ng form. So this do the validation at the view side. The login form must be valid. So if the form is valid, then the validation over view part only. So if the form is valid, then call the function to login. Okay. inside this login function, I'm getting the value, whatever the store inside the controller of the form group, sorry, not the controls, not the controller. So form group controls, so whatever the value we stored, we can get the value via the login form dot get. It will get us the control, whatever the name we pass, and its value. It will get us the value. So I have created one object and with email and password. So this object I am finding. This is the array. We do the array function, a built-in function find defining this. We know about this. So this service, I'm using the service to validate. I have created one service, demo service route. And inside the demo service, whenever the constructor load, right, I'm doing one HTTP call, not exactly HTTP call, but I'm getting file locally, which I have placed in public auth JSON file. So I'm giving path of auth JSON. I'm doing http.get, which I have imported HTML client. Okay. So by using HTML client, we can do the HTTP calls like post, put, get, delete, all the HTTP call. We can do the via HTTP client. Okay. So I have imported this HTTP client inside our service, right? To use this HTTP client, we need to register HTTP inside our app module file, which is provided inside a provider. Okay. We are using provide HTTP client, right? So now only if I remove this HTTP client from here, so I will not be able to use this HTTP client service. It will throw us the error like a the error we faced earlier, like a static null injection error of a HTTP. So we must have to register provide HTTP client. This is actually a new syntax from the Angular 16. Earlier it was a HTTP client module that we need to register inside the import section. But for the new syntax, we need to use the provide HTTP client. If you have installed new latest modules, ng module node and the latest Angular CLI, then you can use the provide HTTP client. HTTP client module is deprecated now. So by using HTTP client, I am making one call HTTP get and I am fetching the auth JSON which we have stored in our public folder. Okay. So this is get auth JSON function get automatically called whenever we initialize the service because it's inside the constructor. I'm calling the function, and that function we are doing the HTTP get is observable. So to use the observable, we need to subscribe it. So when this function get calls and it's like a call get completed, so it will trigger one event, and to hold or fetch that event, we need to subscribe it. So whenever it get complete, we subscribe it, and inside the next section, we will get the value. Whatever the value uh, get by the this HTTP call, it will get us in the value. Or if any error is there, so we'll get that error inside the error function. So from the reactive form and the HTTP client module, these two we have covered. Any question is there? You guys don't have any question? Please ask any question if you have any. Because I'm feeling like I'm going very fast over here. Okay, let's continue. Well, actually, the Laravel is for the PHP part, PHP and Laravel. So actually, I'm not that much aware of this Laravel technology. So actually, I cannot compare both. So anything else? Anyone? Okay. So let's continue with the parent child. So here we will learn about the parent child concept and the decorator concept and the pipe concept. Okay. So I'll just run this first. Just adding anything. Okay. Set task list. Task manager. So the task manager is a parent, and I have created another component which is I'm using as a child inside a task manager for the displaying the list. So here is the parent-child concept. Okay, one component I have created, I'm using it as a parent, and another component I have created, I'm using it as a child. How can I use it as a child? So from the component TS component 5, by using it's a selector. It's a selector. I can use it as a HTML attribute at task list. Okay, and I can use it as a HTML tag, and it is now I have imported a child component inside a component, so it will automatically get become a parent component. So to the parent child concept, as I showed, the input at the rate input decorator we will use to get the data from the parent, and at the rate output decorator we will pass data from child to parent. So whenever I do anything, add task or update task or delete task, so I'm triggering a event. So add task event. So I'm triggering an event add task which is get handled inside the parent in event emitter. So whenever I hit add task, update task or delete task, this event get called, and from the function inside the service there is function. I'm just adding task locally actually. So this task I added, I refreshed my page, so it's over here. So this is the parent-child concept over here. Okay. Inside the child, we have used one pipe. As you can see, this pipe sign. Pipe is actually for the filtering or manipulating any data. So let's declare one. Inside the parent. The parent manager. Let's declare one. Today is the date. Hmm? Hmm? We have declared one date variable today, and to display its value inside a view, we will do the string interpolation. Right? Today. That's it. That's save. So Friday, January 10, 2025. Okay, this is how it looks. And now if I want to manipulate it, so I do pipe, date, and it's a format. Screen error and date. Date. Yeah, guys. Let's go to the model file, the declaration section. Sorry, it's not here. Here. Here's the declaration section. I have declared it in the. Oh, I'm doing something wrong. Sorry. Yeah, I'm doing something definitely wrong. Sorry. Got it. Very silly thing. It's silly mistake. Yeah, we often do. I often do. Sorry. So, format PPT. Uh, so we have manipulated date inside the DD MM format. Okay. The pipe is used to do the data manipulation. Okay. Here inside child, I have created one custom pipe with a search filter. Search filter and can show you inside. I have stored in pipe folder, and so we will start with the @pipe section and the name. Here is not a selector. Here we use name and the search filter. Then whatever the name of the pipe we want to use. Currently, I have declared the name as the search filter. Okay. So search filter will transform, like manipulating data, will transform. So search filter over here, and I'm passing the data search term, right? So whatever the search term will data I'm passing will goes to the inside the task over here search term. Whatever the search term is over here, it is filter the task. this task, it will filter all the tasks by the search term. Filter, I'm filtering by the name. So whatever the search term mine is, it will filter out via name. So let's just paste it, and this is the name, and just copy it and paste. So it have filter out from the list. Okay. So this is the search, filter, and the pipe via pipe. So this is the pipe I have used, and one thing is the directive. So currently directive I have not implemented, so let's add directive. F highlight. This is the attribute directive. So now the F highlight. So whenever I hover my mouse cursor, so it is highlighting. So this is the directive. So mouse enter event and mouse leave event is changing the color. Okay. Okay. So till now we have covered parent-child concept, pipe concept, and the directive concept. Okay. Any question? Okay. And now it's at 12 p.m. also. Please ask any question, and I have covered all the concept from the Angular part for the creating application, app module side, reactive form size, routing side, for the guarding the routes, parent-child concept, decorators, directives. Any question throughout this session?
Participants, any question? Okay, Vaibhav sir, I guess there is no question from the participants. Let us take a break for an hour. We shall join the meeting using the same link after 1 hour at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you all participants. I am ending the meeting now.